a.m. on September 26, 1983. For exactly 17 minutes, one man may have held the future of human civilization in his hands. Not a president, not a general, not a man with launch codes. A military engineer. Sitting underground, 70 kilometers south of Moscow, watching a screen that suddenly told him World War III had just begun. And the most terrifying part? Every machine in the bunker agreed. Except him. What happened that night remained buried inside Soviet archives for nearly 15 years. And when the truth finally came out, even nuclear experts struggled to believe it. Because the event that almost triggered global war didn't begin in Washington, didn't begin in Moscow, and didn't begin with a missile. It began with something far more ordinary. By 1983, the Cold War had become a machine built on fear. The United States and the Soviet Union controlled more than 50,000 nuclear weapons combined, enough to erase human civilization several times over. Submarines, missile silos, strategic bombers, satellites, thousands of people working around the clock preparing for a war nobody wanted and everyone expected. Only 25 days earlier, Korean Airlines Flight 007 had been shot out of the sky. 269 people dead, including an American congressman. Washington was furious. Moscow was paranoid. And inside the Kremlin, Soviet leader Yuri Andropov reportedly believed the United States might be preparing a surprise nuclear strike. By late September, trust had collapsed, which made that night the worst possible moment for a machine to be wrong. Stanislav Petrov was 44 years old, a lieutenant colonel, a systems engineer, a man trained to trust data, not instincts. He wasn't supposed to become important. He was supposed to monitor a system. That's all. Inside a classified bunker called Serpukhov 15, there were no windows, no sunlight, no sense of time. Just fluorescent lights, rows of consoles, and one brand new satellite warning system, OKO. OKO had cost billions of rubles, years of research, dozens of launches, and one purpose: watch the United States from space. The moment an American missile ignited, OKO would detect the heat signature, and Moscow would have roughly 10 to 15 minutes to decide whether to launch back. That doctrine had a name: launch on warning. Not after impact, before your cities disappeared. Which meant, if OKO was wrong, there might not be time to prove it. At 12:15 a.m., everything changed. A siren exploded across the bunker. Operators froze, red lights flashed, and on the main screen, one word appeared: launch. According to the system, an American intercontinental ballistic missile had just been fired. Protocol was absolute. Report immediately. Alert command. Prepare retaliation. No hesitation. No debate. No interpretation. But Petrov didn't move, because something felt wrong. One missile? If this was a real attack, why start with one? He kept staring at the screen. Then, the alarm screamed again. Second missile, then a third, then a fourth, then a fifth. Now the system claimed 5 nuclear missiles were inbound. 5. Enough to destroy command centers. Enough to decapitate leadership. Enough to trigger full retaliation. Around him, nearly 80 personnel waited in silence. No one spoke. No one moved. Every eye fixed on him. And in that moment, Petrov realized something terrifying. He wasn't reading data anymore. He was making a decision that could end the world. If he reported it as real, the alert would move up the chain of command. To generals, to defense ministers, possibly all the way to Andropov himself. And if they believed it, thousands of nuclear warheads could be prepared for launch. Across 11 time zones. Submarines, bombers, missile silos, entire cities could vanish because of 5 blinking lights. Petrov later admitted he was drenched in sweat. His chair was soaked. His training told him one thing: trust the system. His instincts told him another. Something wasn't right. And the worst part, he had no way to confirm either. Ground radar couldn't see the missiles yet. If they were real, they were still beyond the horizon. Radar needed time. Time he didn't have. So Petrov did something machines couldn't do. He thought, if this was a real American first strike, why only 5 missiles? Why not hundreds? Why not everything at once? Then another thought hit him. Oko was new, recently deployed, not fully tested, and Petrov knew that system better than most. He had helped design parts of its logic, which meant if anyone in that bunker could question it, it was him. But if he was wrong, millions could die. And if he was right, no one might ever know. He picked up the phone and made a choice. False alarm. 2 words. That went against protocol, against training, against the system. Then they waited 17 minutes. That's how long it would take for real missiles to arrive. 1 minute, nothing. 5 minutes, nothing. 10 minutes, still nothing. 15, no radar confirmation, no impact. And at minute 17, the silence said everything. No missiles, no explosions, no nuclear war. Petrov was right, but no one knew why. Not yet. For months, engineers, scientists, military investigators, all tried to answer one question. How could a billion-ruble system detect an attack that never happened? The answer sounded almost impossible, because Oko hadn't detected a missile. It hadn't detected an explosion. It had detected light. At exactly the wrong moment, at exactly the wrong angle, sunlight reflected off high-altitude clouds over North America and struck the satellite sensors in a pattern nearly identical to missile exhaust. No weapons, no attack, no war, just sunlight, clouds, and physics. A perfect illusion seen from space. If Petrov had followed protocol, that illusion might have triggered the largest war in human history. You'd expect him to be celebrated. He wasn't. No medals, no recognition, no public acknowledgement. He was questioned, criticized, quietly reassigned, and eventually forgotten. For years, no one outside classified Soviet circles knew his name, until 1998, when the files were finally declassified, and the world learned that on one ordinary September night, inside one underground bunker, under fluorescent lights, at exactly 12:15 a.m., human civilization may have survived, because one man looked at a machine and decided not to believe it.